In the English countryside, we see them dotted about everywhere. On the edges of fields, on hillsides, even occasionally on the beach. We take them for granted and generally just consider them part of the view as we walk by, usually only seeing them from a distance, or otherwise seeing their little white tails vanish down the nearest hole. I want to take a look at what is actually going on inside her right now. Not the biology in any technical sense, but the experience. What the world looks like and feels like and smells like from inside the body of a rabbit. I've been spending time watching rabbits for my writing since they'll play a significant role in my work in progress series, Russet. The more I learn about this particular animal, the more I've had to change how I understand what I'm looking at when I see one. Her heart is beating at roughly 150 times a minute, at resting pace, around twice the speed of ours as human beings. Her nose, even in a simple, calm moment like this, is twitching at around 60 cycles every single minute. When she spots, smells or hears something interesting, it'll double to around 120. Each individual twitch pulls a fresh sample of air across areas of tissue on her nose, which is folded so intricately that, if taken and pulled flat, would cover a small table. Her nose doesn't work the same way as ours, checking the air occasionally the way ours do when we notice a smell. Hers works to build a constantly refreshed map of everything around her, everything that has been near her, and how those things are changing. While standing in the very same field as you, she is, perhaps literally, in a totally different world. Her eyes sit high on the side of her head, positioned in such a way that allows her to see almost everywhere at once in a near 360-degree cone of sight. This causes a small blind spot directly in front of her nose, meaning that as she's eating, she can't see the grass in front of her very clearly at all. Conversely, she could easily detect your movement from both behind and to the side of her, before you'd even consciously realised you're moving at all. She hears things that we could never hear, things that are simply beyond our hardware's ability to even know exist. She can hear a stoat's foot through dry leaves at 40 metres away. She can hear the ultrasonic frequencies of a predator's breath. And she can hear both of these things in both ears at the same time, with each ear twisting and turning independently to track the source from each sound. Her body has evolved over many, many years to hone her ability to detect threats which are all around her. The question that she's always computing, therefore, is not whether there's a threat coming, but which direction it's coming from. That burrow entrance behind her connects to a network of tunnels and chambers, which could run the length of several houses, with other entrances spread across the field. Her whole life exists, for the most part, inside that small hole. The warren has a hierarchy which governs exactly who occupies the deepest, safest areas, who is allowed to breed in the best locations, and who has to dig a separate, solitary burrow away from the main system and just hope for the best. These rights, really, are the difference between raising most of your kits and losing them. It's little surprise then that those lower down in the hierarchical scale live with far more stress than those at the top. The strongest individual relationships that have been determined as a result of years of watching rabbit colonies exist, interestingly, between sisters. Females born together often spend their entire lives side by side, in each other's company. And importantly, the ones who do are, by every measure available, better off than ones who don't. As with us, and indeed with, I would argue, potentially every animal, individual rabbits have distinct personalities. Some are bold, and are always the first outside at dusk, and the first to investigate something unfamiliar. Some are cautious, never wandering too far from the entrance of the burrow when feeding, and bolting far before others at the same alarm. These differences both follow and shape the lives of each rabbit. The bold among them sees more, feeds more, and takes more risks. The cautious survives longer, sometimes. When I write my characters, this is the kind of thing I'm drawing from. The fact that each specific bunny in front of me has a personality completely distinct from the rabbit beside her. That she has a sister. That she has had a place in a social structure since she was born. But most importantly, that she is not something. She is someone. Russet, my work-in-progress novel series, is built upon exactly this kind of understanding. And if you want to read some of the segments before it's published, the link to my newsletter is in the description. Sign up and you'll receive a free copy of the Russet prologue to your inbox immediately. A rabbit feeding in a British field has a very long list of predators indeed. Unsurprisingly, my favourite fox is the most significant, but others on that list include buzzards, sparrowhawks, stoats, badgers, and domestic cats, to name a small few. Every one of them known, or at least knowable, through the mental map the bunny has generated in her experience. Rabbits can read the difference between a predator simply going somewhere and a predator actively hunting. The posture, the angle of approach, the way it uses cover, all of it is registered and processed continuously from across the field. A fox just passing through deserves vigilance and observation. A fox moving low, pausing, working laterally across the wind, that causes them to run. This response goes as follows. First, freeze. Every body rigid, ears locked forward, noses twitching at full speed, and all eyes scanning the area. Within 1 to 10 seconds later, the decision has been made. A single hard thump of the hind foot against the ground. A warning down into the tunnels below before she does anything to save herself. Everyone below will both hear and feel the alarm. Then she bolts. If, unfortunately, she's caught, her body has a very interesting mechanism. Her heart, which has been racing with adrenaline, slows down. Her nervous system releases endogenous analgesics, that is, painkillers which are naturally produced in her body. This mechanism has evolved over millions of years, so that, well, as far as we can guess, the world's most recognised prey animal can meet her end in the most comfortable, painless way she possibly can, in the jaws of another creature. Interestingly, most rabbits never actually scream once caught. But when they do, the sound travels far and wide, triggering other rabbits to go still and pay very close attention. And then, of course, at some point, the scream is smothered, and life goes on as normal. Russet is my life's big project. It's going to be, or if you're watching this in the future, hopefully it is, a series following a family of foxes through the treelands. However, the first scene of the very first book opens with two characters of an entirely different species. I probably don't have to spell out which, named Leppy and Sagi. They're a pair of characters that we meet at the start of the book very briefly, only a couple of times, and really are of little consequence. But they do have a relationship between them, a history, their own way of thinking, their own personality, and by extension, their own way of experiencing the world. You've passed many thousands of people on the street who you'll never meet again in your whole lifetime, who are really background characters to your life. And yet, each of those inconsequential people have their own history and their own story that spans far beyond anything you could ever imagine. So it is for Leppy and Sagi, and indeed for any apparently inconsequential characters in any of my stories. Their stories may not be written, but in the reader's imagination, the possibilities of their lives are completely endless. Writing them, as well indeed as any other unintroduced, if that's a word, Taulia characters so far, with the same interior weight I try to apply to every character, requires knowing in detail exactly what I've been outlining in this video. Imagining their hearts sat there pumping at 150 beats per minute before anything's happened at all, their noses building this constant, detailed map of the world around them, even the thumping of the rear foot to just warn anybody around that something's coming before they save themselves. So next time you watch a rabbit cleaning herself in a field, you can start to look on really with wonder at the whole world that cleaning is just a very small part of. The whole underground society, the sister she's probably spent her entire life with, the complex hierarchy she lives within, and even the mechanism her body has in reserve should one day she be unable to flee in time. If this is the kind of thing you enjoy learning about, the worlds behind the animals and the writing that comes from simply observing them, please do subscribe and leave a comment below. It really does help to spread the information to those who genuinely have a love and an interest to learn about the animals around us. You can also sign up to my newsletter in the description. If you do, you'll get a free copy of the Russet prologue into your inbox today, along with selected scenes from both Russet and the Christmas gift as the writing continues. So the next time you see a rabbit in a field, watch her nose, count the twitches, think about what the world sounds like from inside those ears, and imagine living in a world fully mapped in your mind by senses designed to keep you safe from the jaws of something much larger.